Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading Nectar of Devotion, the qualities of Krishna further explained. Changeless. Krishna does not change his constitutional position, not even when he appears in the material world. Ordinary living entities have their constitutional spiritual positions covered. They appear in different bodies, and under different body concept of life they act. But Krishna does not change his body. He appears in his own body and is therefore not affected by the modes of material nature. In the first canto, 11th chapter, verse 38 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the special prerogative of the Supreme Controller is that he is not at all affected by the mode of nature. Nectar of Devotion Ki Jai. And we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, Text 7. Na dadyat amisham shrade na chadyat dharmatat vabit munianya syat para pritir yata na pashuhimsaya na tatyat amisham shrade na tatyat amisham shrade na chadyat dharmatat vabit Tatvabit Muni Anyaisyat Para Pritir Muni Anaisyam Prat Para Pritir Tatvabit Muni Anyaisyat Para Pritir Yattana Pashuhimsaya Babit Samshrade Na never the Dhyat should offer him some meat, fish, egg, and so on. Shrade in the performance of the Shraddha ceremony. Nor cha also that one should eat personally. Dharmatat Babi, one who is actually learned in regard to religious activities. Muni and I, by preparations made with ghee for saintly persons. Syat should be para first class, pretty satisfaction, yata for the forefathers and the supreme personality of Godhead. Na not Pashu Himshaya by killing animals unnecessarily. The person fully aware of religious principles should never offer anything like meat, eggs, or fish in the Shraddha ceremony. And even if one is a Kshatriya, he himself should not eat such things. When suitable food prepared with ghee is offered to saintly persons, the functions is pleasing to the forefathers and the Supreme Lord, who are never pleased with when animals are killed in the name of sacrifice. Text 8. Persons who want to advance in superior religion are advised to give up envy to other living entities, whether in relationship to the body, words, or mind. There is no religion superior to this. Text 9. Because of the awakening of the spiritual knowledge, those who are intelligent in regard to sacrifice, who are actually aware of religious principles, and who are free from material desires, control the self in the fire of spiritual knowledge or knowledge of the absolute truth. They may give up the process of ritualistic ceremonies. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. People in general are very much interested in karma kanda ritualistic ceremonies for elevation to the higher planetary system. But when awakens his spiritual knowledge, he becomes uninterested in such elevation and engages himself fully in the jnana yagya, to find the objective of life. The objective of life is to stop completely the miseries of birth and death and to return home back to Godhead. When one cultivates knowledge for this purpose, he is considered to be on a higher platform than one who is engaged in karma yagya or fruitive activities. Nadadyada hitam sharade nachadyan dharmatat babir muni anyaisyat para pritir yattana pashuhim shaya. Translation again. A person fully aware of religious principles should never offer anything like meat, eggs, or fish in the Shraddha ceremony. And even when one is a Kshatriya, he himself should not eat such things. When suitable fruit prepared with ghee is offered to saintly persons, the function is pleasing to the forefathers and the Supreme Lord, who are never pleased when animals are killed in the name of sacrifice. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnana Jnana Shalakaya Shakshurumiritam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In the previous verse, it is explained how one should offer prasadam to the demigods, saintly person, forefather, and the people in general. This is widely spread in our Krishna consciousness, the prasadam distribution, and how pleasing is that to other living entities and to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita said that when we eat things that are not offered to Krishna, and then we only eat papa, we only eat sinful activities. So this emphasized, especially for devotees, that we should only eat prasadam. Prabhupada many times said that this is our diet, eating prasadam. And in general, it's something very pleasing. It's considered also yagya, but it's a pleasing one that everybody likes to eat prasadam. It's not it's an austerity in a sense, and for people who come to Krishna consciousness, sometimes they find very austere. Always offer the food to Krishna, always eat vegetarian food. But when you practice Krishna consciousness for a while, it's so easy and it's so nice, and there is no austerity involved. Everybody just loves to eat prasadam. And we see that when people come to Krishna consciousness, they become more and more attached to prasadam. And maybe they are not attached to anything else. But because of this attachment to prasadam, the person becomes clean in their hearts and they start to practice Krishna consciousness more seriously. I was listening a lecture by Rainis a few days ago. I think you gave, no? When did you give class last time? It was 2-3 days ago, isn't it? Yesterday. Oh, okay. And I think it was Ishan who was asking when we should tell people about prasadam, isn't it? About the importance to offer the food to Krishna. And remind me that we should always follow the example that Srila Prabhupada gave, that Prabhupada never preached to anyone new other than vegetarianism. Never. Srila Prabhupada never talked about philosophy. If somebody comes for the first time and you know that person eats meat, we should never talk about them about philosophy or any other topic than vegetarianism. And we see Prabhupada, this is the method that Prabhupada always uses. We see when there is a formal conversation with Cardinal Danielou in France. And Srila Prabhupada never moved from that point about eating meat. He never moved from that point. Because unless one becomes vegetarian, we will never understand higher topics. So that's why it's so important that when we preach to someone new, we never talk about philosophy, never talk about the principle, only about vegetarianism. When the person becomes vegetarian, then they become more receptive, and then we can further explain. But even the act of offering the food to Krishna can be explained to anyone. Because this is in every tradition, like Christians, before they eat, they offer, or they say prayers or whatever, like a kind of offering to God, whatever they are going to eat. So this is something that everyone can relate in every culture. In every culture, there is this process of saying something or pray or something before eating. But in the Vedic is quite specific. We have a specific mantras to offer. We have a specific prayers to say before taking the remnants of the Lord. And this is what is explained. All these details of these sacrifices are specifically explained in the scriptures. And in the verse that we read today is that we should never offer fish, meat, or eggs to, especially they said here is mentioned in the Shraddha ceremony. And something interesting that is in this verse that it said, even if you are a Kshatriya, as we know, Kshatriyas, they get a concession to eat meat. Some of the Kshatriyas, they can eat meat. But not if they are saintly kings. Like we never heard of Maharaj Yudhishthira or any of the, or Maharaj Shivi, that is, I will tell a small pastime of Maharaj Shivi, eating meat. But ordinary Kshatriyas, they were allowed to eat certain animals. But Prabhupada always said that no cows. They were never allowed to eat cows. But they could eat deers, whatever, any other animals, but never cow. Because cows, as mentioned here as well, they produce ghee, and ghee is important for sacrifices. Not only that, this is just one aspect, but cow being considered the mother is highly inappropriate to kill the mother for meat consumption. So they said that we know that we should not eat any eggs, fish, or any type of meat, and these were not allowed. And we see that many great personalities, they came just to stop this tendency, because we see that when we don't practice a spiritual life, even that is very difficult to give up for people in general. We see even in India, I think 39% of people in India are vegetarian, but you see there is a higher, like 60% they eat meat. Even though they know the Vedas or they know Bhagavad Gita, is their culture. And even I've noticed, like when I went to Nepal, everybody eats meat, everybody. Even I've seen a ceremony on the street to Ganesh. They often do these ceremonies, and they had a big pile of rice, like this, but like this high, big pile of rice. And at top of the pile of the rice, there was a fish. So I think this doesn't make any sense. And they offered this to Ganesh. But like Prabhupada explained here, this never satisfied the demigods, the forefathers. This kind of offering where meat and contaminated items are offered. So everything should be pure and according to the scripture. And vegetarian food is prescribed for humans. So not even Kshatriya should eat such things. It's explained here. And we see that Buddha came with this purpose. Buddha came to stop all this animal killing, all these offerings, which are not in accordance to the human form of life. But we see the hypocrisy of Kali Yuga, that even the Buddhists, they eat meat. Many of the Buddhists, they eat meat. And it doesn't make any sense, because Buddha came to stop the animal killing. One time there was one of our ISKCON devotees was traveling he was on the plane, and next to him was sitting none other than the Dalai Lama. I don't know if you heard about that. He was sitting next to the Dalai Lama. And the Dalai Lama is the supreme guru, he's the acharya of the Buddhists, he's the supreme authority. And then when they came the time for the lunch, for the stewardess, he asked the Dalai Lama, so what do you would like to eat? Do you like veg or non-veg? And he said non-veg. And this devotee was so shocked. And he was actually very respectful with the Dalai Lama. He said, Your Holiness, I would like to ask you something. Actually, quite foolish argument, this Dalai Lama. So I have to be humble, right? Yes. And the Dalai Lama was so offended that you see that this is hypocrisy that they themselves are following. And many of the Buddhists nowadays, there are some who follow, some who are vegetarian, but many of the Buddhists they don't see them. And even Shankaracharya, that also Shankaracharya came specifically to propagate, as we know, Mayavadi philosophy. But then he also came to stop animal killing as well, and specifically animal sacrifices. So he said, Shankaracharya said in one of his comments that actually Durga, Shiva are never pleased with the animal killing. They are never pleased. He said they are only putting blood in these deities, but they are not actually the deities themselves. They are never pleased with these sacrifices. I have seen that in Nepal as well. I went to a small island. I didn't know actually what was going on there. There is somebody invited me. There is a nice island, a small island in the middle of a lake, and they do sacrifices there. So I went out of curiosity, and this is a place where every year they sacrifice thousands and thousands and thousands of goats. And it's such a horrible atmosphere there. It's such a horrible atmosphere, even though there were no sacrifice going on, because they do it in a very specific time. But there was this very heavy atmosphere there, and very horrible there, and you can see like blood, and it's terrible place. And on my last trip to India, no, one before actually, we were also in Calcutta for a few days, and I was just we stayed in a hotel. I was walking around, and I came across this chicken market, and it's such a horrible scene there, when it's unbelievable, and you don't. I mean, it's very difficult to understand that this is happening in a place like Calcutta, like India, places where they should have more consciousness about these kind of things. Anyway, and also, as I said, there is a case of Maharaj Shivi. Maharaj Shivi is glorified in many places. He's one of the Ishbaktu descendant, which is come from the line of Lord Ramachandra himself. And he was very well known for his love and compassion for all the people. But then the eagle came, and the eagle started talking to him. And he said, "What are you doing? That is my meat. It's my and I want already shelter. I cannot." And the eagle said, "I'm starving. I want to meat is my food. I can eat meat." And he said that Maharaji, if you offer all kind of things, he said, "I will prepare a feast for you. And the eagle said, "No, I want to eat that dove. It looks so tasty. I don't want anything else." And he said, "I can give you other animals to eat if you want. I can give you other animals to eat." He said, "No, I only want this dove." And then he said, "Okay, we can do one thing. We can put this scale, and you can put your own flesh on one side, and then whatever is equivalent to the weight of that dove, that I will eat." And Maharaj Shiva start cutting his own flesh and put it on the other side of the scale. And no matter how much flesh he will put, it will not be equal to the weight of the dove. And in the end, Maharaj Shiva, he put himself in the scale. And in that moment, the dove and the eagle reveal their identity. Actually, the dove was Agni, and the eagle was Indra. They were testing the generosity and all the his followers Francis of Assisi, one of the because God is all about love. God is we see that these activities, they will create very heavy harmony, and they will need to suffer. And this is explained on the example like a person who eats cow, they need to suffer. Like it's many times they need to go on and feel as many times they share in the cow. So they kill and eating and born and eating and born again hundreds and hundreds of times. So it's a very simple thing to eat meat. Of course, I'm not saying to you Lord, you don't need this kind of teaching. But this is when we meet people and we want to teach to them because this is our thing, the devotee system. of vegetarianism until the person realize and become vegetarian, and then we can go further explain. But in the beginning, just vegetarianism, like Prabhupada always did, just to explain that it's not about health, but it's about compassion. And this is like what's his name, Gorkishore Das Vavashi, he said that compassion to other living entities is the only religion I know. Compassion to other living entities, he said three things: association with devotees and chanting of the holy name of the Lord. These are only religious principles that I know. So if we don't have compassion, if we don't chant the holy name, if we don't associate with devotees, there is no question of religion. There is no question of a spiritual process. So these three things are very important, and compassion is one of the main ones. And to have compassion for all the living entities, and this is explained also in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th chapter, where Krishna said that those who have this compassion for all living entities are very, very dear to him. And we can think that, okay, this is just material things, but we should understand that Krishna is in everyone's heart, and if we don't have compassion for others, also we are not pleasing the Lord in the heart of that living entity. So that's why devotees should be compassion not only to others, humans, but also to every living entity. And we see this, and the Srila Prabhupada many times show this type of compassion with other creatures as well. So anyway, this is something to always keep in mind, and to remember the example of these great personalities who had such a love and compassion for others, and try to apply in our own life. Shri Kodanita Maya Purusha Shri Tulsinath Maharaj ki jai, Giridhari Lal ki jai, Nishinkhare Bhagavan ki jai. Do you have any questions or comments? Alan.
Thank you, Gandaki Prabhu, for such a wonderful and enlightening class. It's amazing to hear these things. They are so important for us to keep in mind. And casting my mind back to something you said about Christians, and it occurred to me about Christians originally being vegetarian. And in fact, there's a famous story about Lord Jesus. People think the incident in the temple with the money changers was about just because money was being exchanged in the temple, but actually the temple was being used as a sacrificial arena for the slaughtering of animals. And this is what caused the great anger of Jesus for him to behave in such a way. And it's such a core part of the beliefs, but people just seem to discard it now.
Yeah.
But also on the subject of compassion, you know, people can be born in this age, they are conditioned to behave a certain way. Must we also be compassionate to those people who are eating meat, or even someone who's working in a slaughterhouse who has no other option for income? And what is their karma going to be? Will they get any relief from that karma if they take to spiritual life? And should we also be going out our way to try and encourage these people to change, even though they may be condemned with such heavy karma?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, sometimes devotees are not, they look down upon people like that because they eat meat, and we think that, okay, we are superiors because we have this understanding and this knowledge, and we don't perform such gross sinful activities. But as you say, we should also try to encourage those people to give up these things. There is one devotee in Argentina. He was a butcher before, And one time he was wrapping the meat with back to Godhead. And he said, "What is this? Because what kind of paper is this?" And he noticed, he started reading from this back to Godhead that he was using to wrap the meat, and he became a devotee. Yeah, there's so many stories like this, of. I remember doing Sankirtan. I always see this conflict in my mind when you see a butchery there, and you are doing book distribution. And shall I go in? Because this smell is unbearable, isn't it? Of dead bodies is unbearable. I did a few times, but I don't want that he want to shake my hand or something like that. I don't want to. I did a few times, and we distributed some books to butchers. But yeah, this is actually the people we should have more compassion with, because this is a lowest of the low in terms of karmic reactions. They will get the most severe punishment for killing animals. With the other principles, like, we follow the four principles. With the other principle, it's just you are making bad to yourself if you do gambling, or if you get intoxication, but with the animal killing is something that you are directly hurting someone else. So this is the worst type of. And also, it is explained that even if you live, then you don't lose what you got, what you gain during the practice of Krishna consciousness. But if you start eating meat, then you lose everything. I met one devotee one time that he blooped, and he told me, "I just ate a block of meat." Like devotees talking. I don't know if I ate a block of prasad, and sometimes in South America they always say like I ate a block, like a big quantity of prasad. And he told me like this. He said, "I ate a block of meat," and I could see how he looks so terrible. He looks really terrible. He became so dark. And spiritually, if you eat meat, even if you leave Krishna consciousness, you eat meat, you lose everything. You eat any piety, any spiritual credit that you got in Krishna consciousness. So that was a wake-up call. Because Reines was nodding off a little bit. So yeah. So I don't know if it does. Yeah.
Okay, it was just about for people who have spent their lives who have been eating meat and taking part in the slaughter of animals or something related to that, because even the industry of clothes and things is related to slaughter of lambs and things sometimes. So for these people, is there any hope that they can overcome the heavy karmic reactions they take to devotional service, or are they condemned?
Oh no, yeah, that's definitely. There was a Mataji living here before. Her name is Rangadevi. Many years ago, maybe around 20 years ago, she was living in Karuna Bhavan. And she told me one time, she lives in London now. She's still a devotee. She's a nice devotee. She told me when she was a child, his father was killing animal, and he was pushing her to help him to kill the animals. And she got so many psychological problems even today because of all these traumas of these killing animals. But now she's a devotee, so everything is forgotten, because when we chant the holy name, when even they say when we pay offenses, all the sinful reactions stay there on the floor. And there is no sinful activities that we had committed that cannot be nullified by chanting Hare Krishna. So even if you committed the most, like 9, what's the verse? 9, apiche suduracharo. Is the 9:30? What is 9? Okay. Even if we commit the most sinful reactions, we can still be considered a saint if we are practicing, I'm paraphrasing, if we are. And also Krishna said, just surrender unto me, I will free you from all sinful reactions. So as soon as somebody surrenders to Krishna, and they ask Prabhupada, but how long it will take? Prabhupada say 1 minute. You see, this is famous lecture, I think 1 minute, he can be free from all sinful reactions. In 1 minute, Prabhupada said, if we completely surrender to Krishna. So, yeah, absolutely hope for, because we all did all these things. I don't know about Ananda Vigraha, but we all ate meat, isn't it, before? Did you eat meat before? Everybody. Luckily, I became vegetarian when I was 14. I didn't, at least, but most of us, most of the devotees, they stop eating meat when they come to Krishna consciousness. I stopped eating meat before coming to Krishna consciousness. And there is a story of one Maharaj in South America. I forgot his name now. He said that he started getting contact with the devotees, but he was still eating meat. So one time he had a dream, and he was practicing yoga, meditation, all the kind, but he was still eating meat. And this Maharaj had a dream one time with the cow, and the cow talked to him. He said, "You are such a hypocrite." He said, "You are pretending that you are doing meditation and yoga, all this thing, but you're still eating meat. You're just." And when he woke up, he stopped eating meat. You know, it was such a strong dream. You know, that the cow was talking to him. Is that okay?
Who are attracted to religions like Islam, Christianity, or who are Sikh, and who will use the cover of the beliefs for the eating of meat. How can we present to them the spiritual knowledge to allow them to see past these things? Because many of us, we will use these tricks, these things to kind of fool ourselves or to excuse things that are really excusable, such as eating of meat. And any advice that we can approach this sort of thing?
Best advice, I will say, let Prabhupada preach to them. The main thing, the person take a book. I've seen that as well. Many, sometimes Sankirtan devotees, they get in this strong argument with the opposition. And this is useless. Normally, this is useless. Because people are never going to change because you tell them something, even though true, even though makes sense, they are not going to change because you tell them. We are not pure enough to change someone's heart, but Prabhupada is. So if you maintain is, we can say that the basic of your belief and the basic of my beliefs are the same. And this is something that will help you to develop your religion, to develop your faith. And then if we make the person understand that that's enough, because if they take the book, that's enough, because Prabhupada will preach to them. Prabhupada many times will say, what is the use of your 3 minutes preaching or whatever? Because even we preach to them, they will forget. They are so covered up with and so conditioned that they will forget our preaching. But if we give them a book, they will read Prabhupada book and they will understand. Isn't it, Rainus? What do you think?
It's the same. I think it's the same way. Sometimes even the person's sweet like themselves, or he's not in that right position. It's just you can see they're not ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just to be friendly with people. In the beginning, that's enough. Just be friendly. And then, if you have the chance to give them prasadam and to give them proper books, the beginning maybe just higher taste. If they are too gross, with meat eating, just higher taste, so they can start to understand how eating meat is bad. And then I've seen so many times. One time I was working security in a laboratory, and I have one of my colleagues who was working with me. He was quite a character, and he was how to say, he was very materialistic, very, very materialistic. And he was always shouting, like it was quite annoying guy, I didn't like his behavior. And he was not even serious in his job or what. But I started to give him Mahaprasad from my shalagrams every day. And one day he said something interesting. He said, this food that you are giving me, this is something special about. This is something different. I never say anything about Krishna, never preach to him, nothing. Because I understood this is useless. He's too gross, And he said that your food is so special. There's something special. I don't know what it is. There's something special about the food you are giving. I always give him like simple, wonderful, these kind of sweets every day, every single day. And then after maybe 6 months or something, he changed completely. He changed. He became sober, quiet, and I couldn't believe the change. And this is all because of prasadam. So prasadam is, as Prabhupada said, this is our secret weapon that we can conquer the illusion of other people. Yeah. So main thing is just to be friendly with people on the street, just friendly and kind. That's it. And people will appreciate that. I've seen sometimes people on the street, they like to become friend of the devotee. They are like friends, but they know. But this friendship is already the beginning of the process. It's the beginning of this is planting the seed of bhakti in them, because they will remember the devotees. I will finish with one last Sankirtan story that happened to me, and that applied to all of you as well. One time I was doing book distribution, doing person to person in one place, and I was always going to the same spot. And there was one girl there who was. I was outside mall, and she was working in one of the shops there. So she will see me every day. And she bought some books, and she was quite friendly. So one time I was very mental. I was really mental. I didn't chant my rounds properly. I was really mental. I was thinking, oh, I want to go back to the temple. I don't want to do this anymore. I was really completely in the mental platform. And then she came to me. She said, "Oh, how are you?" I said, "I don't feeling very good today. I think I will go back to the temple." I didn't give any detail. Obviously, I didn't say I'm mental. But I said, "I'm not feeling very good. I think I will go back to the temple." She said, "No, you should stay." And I say, "Why?" She said, "Do you know that you are a shelter for many people?" What is talking about? They may be Christian, they didn't know. But because they know that you are preaching your philosophy, your lifestyle, keep faith in their own process. You keep them faith in their own process. In their own process. You don't know, but you are the because you are there and you overcome all these obstacles and overcome all this by being there day in day out, trying to give your religious book. You become a shelter of many people. Many people have more faith now because by seeing you there. And I was blown up by this comment, and I didn't go to the temple. I kept doing it. She gave me that inspiration. I understood this is Krishna who's talking to us. And this is true for every single devotee. We don't see what's going on. We just go on book distribution and we meet some nice people, but there is a lot more going on in the mind and in the hearts of other people that we cannot see when we are there. We don't see. We cannot see. But other people see us. So that's why we also need to be careful how we behave on the street as well. Because it can be positive, it can be also affect in a great but generally, if they are not demoniac, people appreciate it. This is going to be there. I remember the one Prabhu, his name is Gauranga Das. He said every time he will see the devotee, he will take another turn. He will go opposite direction. And he said, if I talk to them, I will become like them. So he was doing everything possible to avoid devotees. And he will see them every day, and he will go in a totally different direction. And one day, one devotee caught him, and he preached to him, and he became a devotee. So, yeah. Nobody can escape Krishna consciousness. Nobody can escape. And sometimes we measure the result of how many devotees, but the result is much bigger than that. It's just a small portion what we see, like devotees, full-time devotees. But everyone who see devotees, who have any contact with devotees, is getting a spiritual benefit. But it's very difficult. We don't see that, but that is there. So we need to keep doing it for the benefit of others and ourselves. Okay, let's finish here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sankirtan Yagya ki jai. Gita Gaura Premanandi Hari Bol.